Hey guys, welcome to the Acespace, and today we're going to be talking about one of the worst call-out videos I've seen in a good while. The call-out video was done by a creator called Milkway Shaker on the content creator on TikTok normally known as BioBot or PsychoJesus. To make a long story short, it seems that BioBot is a creator that is a teenager that has a problematic OC, however it seems that Milkway Shaker tries to make stretches in logic to go even further with their assumptions. Now without further ado, let's start getting into the problems and horrendous takes that this call-out video has to offer. So, right off the bat, we're going to have something tedious here where Milkway Shaker understands exactly what the real situation is, it seems like, but they still try to make more out of it with like unnecessary arguments and crazy assumptions. So Milkway Shaker is going to understand that BioBot did this to be edgy and for shock value, however they're still going to try to reach and insinuate and make arguments for labels that are really egregious to attach to your name, especially with the labels of this variety. A genuine moment in live time where the point is about to skyrocket over their head.
Along with that, their entire account is themed around stuff like meat and religion, specifically Christianity, and it's likely not because they're a Christian, but because of why they even made their OC a necrophile in the first place. Because it would be edgy to do so. Yeah, it's a little bit obvious, but this is one of those cases of an artist trying way too hard to make a problematic edgy OC who does dark, messed up stuff. Except this isn't a problematic OC, this is just shitty writing. Because yes, you can make problematic OCs, I mean I literally have a group of OCs that kill and eat people, but there's a difference between a problematic OC and a dog shit one.
If we're going to make the argument that essentially the OC is a gateway into the artist's soul, it's not a great idea to then show that you have a plethora of cannibal OCs, because then you could have people turning around and asking you the same question and being like, hey, you have a lot of cannibal OCs here, are you trying to tell us something about yourself? And I say that now because in this next clip they also tried to argue that essentially one of the issues with having a problematic OC like this is because people will think BioBot is a necrophile. Not that I'm saying that they are one, but this is a genuine concern because people could think you are one.
And portraying things like necrophilia as some quirky thing not to take seriously isn't going to make people think, wow, what a fictional story that's totally not based on the creator's real ideals and interests. No, it's gonna make people think that the artist either doesn't take that stuff seriously at all, or that they likely have some sort of fetish for it. I mean, why else do all the Dan Schneider shows always have feet involved at some point? Because it's his damn fetish. Now, I'm not accusing BioBot of being into necrophilia, but the way they portray this sort of stuff can very easily make it look like they are.
This point comes off as a weak point because it's more or less you're trying to hide behind the public opinion rather than give a take of your own. Because if this is a call-out video, right, why would we really care about like what some random people would think about this person's OC? It's just one of those safe weak takes because again, this is a call-out video. This is supposed to be your takes. It's supposed to be your problems that you bring up, your dilemmas. However, there's not been even any really good argument to say that this person's morally egregious. And in this next clip, they say BioBot is supporting a white nationalist because they happen to be a fan of a show that was created by one.
One of them was an Alfred's Playhouse clip. I guess I was right about them being an Alfred's Playhouse fan. Either way, being an active fan of a series made by someone who was a white supremacist is weird, and also not good.
This is also a weak point because there's no proof that BioBot was consuming this content because of the creator being a white nationalist. It's more likely that they just did this because edgy kids consume edgy content. And for the next clip, we'll see a clear lack of research and a crazy guilt by association point made by Milkway.
They allow people to post Nazi art and racist shit in the group. I'm not even kidding either, it's bad. And although I don't speak Russian and I can't translate what they're saying in this image, it's a bit obvious they're not saying nice things considering the image sent. So yeah, BioBot is perfectly fine with racist shit.
Like, this is genuinely like an insane leap of logic because you didn't even like do the due diligence to even like translate what they're saying. You're just assuming what was said because of a bad image that was sent. And when I asked them about like using Google Translate, they felt like that wouldn't like fully translate what was said, and they didn't want to use it because it could be unreliable. However, I would argue that it's even worse to make the assumption that BioBot's perfectly fine with this just because of an image that was sent. And what really tops this point off is that this wasn't even like sent by BioBot. Like, it's really possible too, right? That like some rando goes into your server and like starts spamming like really unfavorable images. It happens all the time. These are literally called raids. Okay, this is a pretty common occurrence on Discord. This being your basis that they're perfectly fine and okay with that type of content is really weak. It really shows a lack of research if like your best thing is an out of context screenshot that you didn't even bother to translate. And just in case you guys didn't think that this was like just enough guilt by association in the video, they literally have a whole segment called Crashing Out where they're just blaming BioBot for their audience.
If I had a quarter every single time the art community did not learn from Birdie, I would have $1. Because, oh my god, their fan base is an echo chamber!
There is genuinely no point to really care about this because there's nothing of like BioBot like sending their audience to people or anything like that. There's nothing like that where they're harming other people or putting other people in harm's way. It is literally just them existing. But this last clip I'm going to show from like their video is going to be the most insanely reckless claim that they put in here with absolutely no basis.
Editing Milkway here, another thing I just got told was that BioBot also told a minor that they looked cute, despite the fact that BioBot is apparently like way older than them, and I think that's really fucking weird. Okay, now on to the outro.
You threw in a claim that they liked kids with absolutely no basis. There's no screenshots. In fact, you start off by saying, I heard this from somebody. Like, never have I ever seen someone be so reckless with their actual claims that they put into a video. Because you're going to try to convince people that this person likes kids? Like, for what? There's literally nothing. There's no evidence of them even calling the person cute. We don't know the age gap. There's no, like, we don't know anything. And it's just absolutely insane to just throw this at the end of the video like it's a bow tie on a present. Now, I think it's pretty clear that I didn't think that this video was very good. So, you know what? I saw the video had like 50,000 views, and I thought, you know what? I should try to contact this person to reach out. And luckily, I was able to. So just for this segment, I'm going to go over key parts, but I will be linking the stream that's already timestamped if you want to see the full debate for yourself. If it already wasn't clear enough that Milky Way didn't do a lot of good research for this video, what if I told you that they didn't even know that BioBot was a minor? There's what I see, like when it comes to like with PsychoJesus or BioBot, it really just seems like, because from what I also hear, like they're also like a minor as well. It seems like an edgy teenager that's just making stupid jokes and not actually, unless you are trying to make the argument.
Of course, during the time when I was making the video, I didn't even know how old they were. Like, I just remember someone saying, like, they were way older than this one person, and I was like, so I thought, like, oh, maybe they're like 18 or 19 or something, but I didn't actually even know how old they were.
Now, normally I could be understanding and understand that maybe the age is not always relevant when talking about certain creators. However, I do feel like the age here would be an important piece of context to understand that this is an edgy teenager doing things for shock value and not just some loser adult who lives in their mother's basement. And of course, it would also be important to understand the age of this person if you're going to throw in a pedophile allegation at the end of your video. Speaking of which, by the way, yeah, about that last part, dude, that's really reckless because it comes off that you threw in like a pedophile allegation. Like you just randomly dropped at the end of the video. It's like, oh yeah, this guy's like flirting with someone way younger.
It was definitely like something very last minute, which I kind of regret putting in.
To add a nice little cherry on top, this was also an allegation that got swiftly debunked, so maybe this is a lesson to not just throw in an allegation with absolutely no verification whatsoever. What was really rough for them about this interview/debate is that they literally conceded to every single one of the points that I brought up. And I guess after that, they changed their mind on being a part of this community because here they are talking about leaving it. What would be a good indicator to say that you're probably not cut out for callouts is if you make a callout, and then like I challenge you on some of the points, you could instantly concede to like all of them. Like,
yeah.
That probably shows that the video was like not really good.
It was mainly just because like I didn't want to like. The main reason why I've kind of just been conceding is just because like I don't really want to like be like one of those people who like immediately like try to like downplay like any like actual like criticism or like resort to like insults or just say like no, because like I had to deal with like someone who is basically like that, and couldn't really like handle criticism and was very much like not cut out for it, but still had like a large audience. And admittedly, I think that in terms of like call out stuff, I am definitely like not like um mature for that, and I'm definitely not like cut out for it. So like if I ever do commentary in the future, it'll probably be like just like on like sorry on like less serious stuff.
Now I'll wrap this up with the community post that they did post after we had this call. Just got interviewed regarding the Biobot video, and after a bit of talking, I made the choice to unlist the original video, as I believe personally it was definitely not my best video, even if not my worst, and I ultimately no longer agree with most of the points I made in the video, especially the point where I basically blamed them for something they didn't even do, as well as the part where it basically came off as me accusing them of something really bad. The video is pretty embarrassing now to look at, and I've now decided for now that honestly I'm not the one for call-out videos, let alone more serious commentary. I do think when talking about serious matters, I'm very much more like reckless and impulsive on what I'll post, and as much as I blame the fact I am not entirely mentally sound, I do still blame myself as well. I mean, it's not like my bipolar autism is some entity possessing me like Jekyll and Hyde. It's just something that is a part of my life and affects every action I make, and I'm still at fault for the things I do, even if I'm doing it from impulse or from fear or from any strong emotion. Will I still do commentary? Yeah, just not as like serious or heavy topics, as I personally don't think I'm the mature enough person to talk about such. Even if I am 18, I am still immature, I'm still technically young, and obviously not experienced with having this much of an audience. If I ever do commentary again, it won't be of things of this nature, like of more non-issues and stuff relating to my special interests and stuff relating to my OCs and art and whatever, and I'll still post like animation art related things that aren't commentary. So if you are subscribed to me for commentary about more serious topics and drama, I'd recommend just by leaving now. But besides that, I admit to my fault and I am sorry. You're not required to forgive what I've done. In fact, I'd rather people not instantly worship me for doing something as simple as an apology, and I won't be mad if people don't instantly forgive me. The whole thing was likely done a lot of damage to my actual credibility and how people might trust me, albeit not as much as the MG drama did, so it is going to take me a while to rebuild that sort of thing. If I can even do so ever again, since the internet doesn't forget things, and honestly I'd rather the internet not forget, it's also why I don't private the videos I no longer am proud of. I honestly have really only privated one thing, and it was for safety reasons, along with deleting a few animations due to a fear of getting a strike with how many songs are there I have heavy copywriting. Sorry if this post was super long, I just had a lot to say. Either way, I hope I could try to move on and do better than this and improve. Obviously, to avoid outcomes like this, you just gotta do basic research, and to be honest, if you're gonna make a call-out video, ask yourself, is this something that, like, is worth calling out? Ask yourself, is this morally egregious actions or really just, like, personal distaste? And on that note, we'll end the video right here. Thank you all for watching this far. If you haven't already, leave a like and subscribe. It's much appreciated. This has been Acespace. You guys have a great day now.
We all got internet personas we hide behind.